Okay. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. We have a jam-packed hour of information, so I'm going to dive right in. I want to thank you for attending this session. If you were able to attend our October 30th session, where we went through all the seniors financial assistance programs, today we're going to be focusing specifically on the special needs assistance program. My name is Danielle Davids. I'm a senior analyst with the Seniors Division with the Ministry of Seniors, Community, and Social Services. I will have a subject matter expert, Laura Paradowski, who's the Manager of Client Relations, joining us for a Q&A at the end. My colleague Karen Brashko will be posting important links and information in the chat throughout the presentation. And we also have Stephanie from CORE Alberta. Thanks for hosting this session for us today, Stephanie. And she'll be letting people in from the waiting room, monitoring the chat, the Q&A, things like that. Just a note before we get started, the information that I'll be sharing today is accurate of today's date, but it is subject to change. There's benefit year changes that happen usually in June and July, and that can affect thresholds, amounts, and other details of the programs we discuss. Additional changes can also occur throughout the year, so we do recommend consulting official resources or contacting Alberta Supports if you're viewing this presentation at a later date, just to ensure you have the most up-to-date information. Before we begin, I just wish to acknowledge that although we're joining from across the province, we're presenting and working on the traditional homeland of the many diverse First Nation, Métis, and Inuit people whose elders have walked this land before us, and those persons with whom we share this great land today. Just a few quick housekeeping items before we get going. We're going to be using the question and answer feature throughout this session. We have a dedicated time at the end of the presentation to answer questions, but you can submit them at any time. This is a webinar, so participants are muted and your camera should be automatically off when you join. But for some reason, we find with Zoom, some people's cameras are on when we join. Not your fault, something weird with Zoom. So feel free to turn your camera off if that happens. This will be the volume of the presentation. You can turn on automatic closed captioning using the feature at the bottom of your Zoom screen. Throughout the presentation, any links or websites we mentioned will be posted directly into the chat feed. We're also going to drop a PDF right now in the chat feed. It's the slides with a notes page that you can use throughout the session. We did email this around 1 p.m. as well, but if you didn't get it in your email, you can just click that little down arrow in the chat and download it now. This session is being recorded and it will be available for replay through CORE Alberta. We'll just cut it off at the Q&A. We don't include those in the recording. So no personal information from attendees will be shared in the recording. It's just a video of me talking and the presentation. CORE Alberta will also share a link to a survey at the end of this question. If you do question at the end of this session. If you have time, please complete it. It really helps us improve and expand our offerings. We've got a jam-packed agenda today, so I'm going to start with a brief overview of the work of our ministry, and then I'll provide an overview of the indexing of financial benefits, and then we're going to go specifically into the Special Needs Assistance for Seniors program today, also known as SNA. We'll be covering the program basics, such as who is eligible, income thresholds, what is covered, and how to apply. And then we'll talk about some things that aren't funded and how to make a claim. We'll wrap up the session by answering any questions you have. Again, you can submit those at any time throughout the session using the question and answer box, and then we'll get to as many as we can at the end with our subject matter experts. Just quickly before we get started, as I mentioned, I'm with the Ministry of Seniors, Community, and Social Services. This ministry was formed in October of 2022, and it provides support for seniors, families, and communities, and helps Albertans access disability services, financial support, services for the homeless, and other social-based programs. This ministry supports Albertans through person-centered integrated service delivery that recognizes the unique circumstances, experiences, and strengths of individuals and families. The ministry also provides oversight to the Office of the Public Guardian and Trustee. Our division, the Seniors Division, leads the development and delivery of a variety of programs and services to support the well-being and independence of Alberta seniors. The division is responsible for seniors financial assistance programs, community grants, stakeholder engagement, and cross-ministry policy and program work to support seniors from a government-wide perspective. All orders of government and many community organizations provide programs, supports, and services to seniors. The primary source of income for seniors aged 65 and older is provided by the Government of Canada through their programs, including Old Age Security, Guaranteed Income Supplement, and Canada Pension Plan. Regular sessions on Government of Canada supports can be requested through Service Canada and can be found in the event listings on the CORE website. Or you can contact Service Canada directly to arrange a session. To supplement these programs, the Government of Alberta provides additional financial assistance and health benefits, and you can see those listed here on the screen. Today, specifically, we're talking about the Special Needs Assistance for Seniors program. First, I just want to share information about indexing of financial benefits, which came into effect in January of 2023. In 2023, indexing was first introduced. Albertans already enrolled in any of the programs listed on the slide here, including AISH, Income Support, Alberta Seniors Benefit, Special Needs Assistance, and Supplementary Accommodation Benefit, automatically received this increase. For seniors, changes are made to the maximum monthly benefit for Alberta Seniors Benefit, maximum amounts for Special Needs Assistance, and the minimum income amount for Supplementary Accommodation Benefit. Benefits are reviewed yearly. In 2023, we saw benefits increase by 6%, and in 2024 by 4.25%. We expect to see changes in benefits again in January of 2025. Before we jump into the Special Needs Assistance Program, let's just go through how to apply for seniors financial assistance programs. It's important that we ensure an eligible senior has applied and is enrolled before they submit a special needs assistance claim. If you came to the last session, this will be a bit of review for you, but I have cut it down significantly, so hopefully it's not too bad. A senior does first need to ensure that they have applied for seniors financial assistance. So let's jump into that first. So to apply, seniors must have completed and submitted a seniors financial assistance application and be enrolled before they submit anything for special needs assistance. Alberta Health sends out information to Albertans 6 months before they turn 65, and this information is sent to their most recent mailing address based on Alberta Health's data. The package that's sent out to seniors includes a brochure, which provides information on seniors programs and services, as well as information for applying online through an alberta.ca verified account or online application. Guidance for seniors on how to complete their seniors financial assistance application online is available by visiting sfa.alberta.ca. You may notice that this is a change from what was previously included in the information package. As of summer 2024, a paper application is no longer included in the package, and seniors are being encouraged to apply online. These changes were made to encourage new applicants to utilize online services where they can, but the use of online services is growing, including among seniors. Offering online application options provides a safe, efficient, and cost-effective way for seniors to access services. That said, an alternative, a paper application, is still available for those who do not wish to apply online, and this can be requested by calling Alberta Supports at 1-877-644-9992, downloading and printing it from the Seniors Financial Assistance website, or getting it from an office such as Alberta Supports or an FCSS office if they have those on hand. Individuals who are transitioning from AISH to Alberta Seniors Benefit are automatically enrolled in Seniors Financial Assistance and do not need to submit an application, but they can still create and use a My Alberta Seniors account to access account details, submit special needs assistance claims, and more. When online While online applications are being promoted, seniors still have all available options to submit an application. The first option is the alberta.ca option, and this is where individuals can use their verified alberta.ca account to access their My Alberta Seniors account to securely and easily apply online for seniors financial assistance programs. Through the My Alberta Seniors account, seniors can access information on their Alberta Seniors Benefit, including their file status, payment details, and tax information, such as T-slips. They can submit claims, review claim history, and see payment details for the Special Needs Assistance Program. They can view any letters or documents that are on their account. And they can also use this account to update things like banking information, change their mailing and home address, their phone number, etc. The next option is an online fillable form, which allows individuals to apply online using a secure fillable form without using an alberta.ca account or setting up a verified account. This option can be completed in 3 simple steps. So first, they're going to fill out the online form. Second, they print and sign the signature form on the last page. And then third, they use the online upload tool to upload the signed form and any supporting documentation to the website. Of course, seniors can still complete and submit a paper copy, and that can be scanned and uploaded using the online uploader tool. It can also be faxed or mailed in. Right now with Canada Post, we recommend that you avoid the mail option at this time. Application processing time for SFA enrollment takes approximately 6 to 8 weeks. It can take longer during peak periods. And if you're mailing your application in, you need to account for mail times as well, which right now mail times are indefinite. So if possible, please don't mail it in. An alberta.ca account for personal use allows an individual to interact with online services, including My Alberta Seniors. Some of these services may require your account to be verified, and My Alberta Seniors is one that requires verification. So to get verified, Albertans can choose an activation code delivered to either a text message or mailed to them. Text message is a much quicker option. Once they've received their activation code, they just enter it to finish verifying their account, and their account will remain verified as long as the ID used in the process is valid and has not expired. If an ID expires or it's updated, an Albertan must sign in and provide their new ID information to maintain a verified account. A reference guide has been created to help with the creation of an alberta.ca account. It has things like frequently asked questions and contact information for additional support. It also includes screenshots and helpful other links as well. So we posted in the chat where you can get help with the alberta.ca verified account, including access to the technical guide. Some advantages to applying online, even though we recognize this is not going to be for everyone. It does offer a safe, efficient, and cost-effective way for seniors to access services. By registering for an alberta.ca verified account, seniors can enjoy several benefits, including being able to view their application status and history, being able to conveniently provide updates on their files. So for example, if they move, they can just hop on their alberta.ca account and change their address there. They can make special needs assistance claims directly through the My Alberta Seniors account. And then there's also access to other government services, including My Health Records and more. Coming soon, seniors who are using the online option for My Alberta Seniors will be able to get notifications through email instead of waiting for a letter in the mail. So now that we've quickly gone over how to apply for seniors financial assistance, we're going to get into the special needs assistance program. Seniors with low income can get financial assistance to help afford the cost of appliances and specific health and personal supports. The information I'll be talking about today is for the current benefit year, which runs from July 1st, 2024 to June 30th, 2025. We're posting a direct link now to the Special Needs Assistance information booklet in the chat if you want to follow along in the booklet. We'll reference the relevant pages throughout the next slides. You can request paper copies of this booklet for your office or your organization that serves seniors by emailing seniorsinformation@gov.ab.ca and letting us know how many you'd like and where to send them. And then we're happy to send those out as soon as we can. So special needs assistance provides maximum assistance of up to $5,643 in a benefit year for a single senior or a senior couple. The benefit year for special needs assistance starts July 1st of one year and ends on June 30th of the following year. So as I said earlier, this year the benefit year will end on June 30th, 2025. Funding received through special needs assistance is not considered taxable income and no T-slip is issued for it. The maximum annual benefit and maximum amounts for funded items may also increase in January with indexing. The SNA booklet, which we've linked in the chat here, is an excellent resource to refer to when helping a senior, or if you are a senior, apply for claims with the special needs assistance. We do encourage you to review this booklet and then look at the details for the exact item you're submitting a claim for. In the booklet, they're listed by item, primary and secondary, and then on the website, there's drop downs for each item with the exact description of what needs to be submitted. We already shared a link to the SNA booklet, but here's a link to the website as well in the chat. Remember, the website always contains the most accurate information because it's updated as changes occur, while the SNA booklet is only updated and published once per year. So in general, for SNA eligibility, to be eligible, a senior must meet several general eligibility requirements. That is, they've completed and submitted a senior's financial assistance application. They're 65 years of age or older. They're an Alberta resident. They are a Canadian citizen or lawfully admitted to Canada for permanent residence, and they meet the financial eligibility criteria. In addition, if a senior or their spouse has deferred receiving their old age security pension, they're not eligible for SNA. However, if an applicant does not meet the 10-year residency requirement for old age security, they may still be eligible for this program and should still complete the senior's financial assistance application. These are the current income thresholds for the Special Needs Assistance Program. SNA provides two levels of funding known as primary and secondary, and you'll note items are split into these two categories in the information booklet and on the website. Line 15000 of the senior's previous year's income tax return will determine which of these levels he or she is eligible for. You can use the benefit estimator on our website, and if in doubt, just apply. The SNA program does not count any one-time CPP death benefit amount or any supplementary accommodation benefits claimed on income tax as income for either the applicant or their spouse. For the 2024-25 benefit year, to be eligible for both primary and secondary items, the income for a single senior must be $29,010 or less, and for a senior couple, $46,440 or less. To be eligible for primary items only, we're looking for a single senior with an income of $33,410 or less, and a senior couple with a household income of $54,640 or less. When submitting a special needs assistance claim, there's a few options to submit. Seniors do not need to complete an application form to submit a claim for special needs assistance, but they do need to be eligible and submit the required documentation for the items they're applying for. All documents submitted should include the senior's name and their health number written on the document. As mentioned before, the alberta.ca account is fantastic for submitting special needs assistance claims and tracking the status of their claims. They can use that account, and many of these claims will be adjudicated without even requiring paper documents. I'll show you an example in a minute. The online upload option is the easiest way to send claims, receipts, and estimates for seniors who don't have a verified account. You just take the documents, scan them in, and then upload them on the website, and they'll go straight to the senior's file. Always refer, of course, there's also the options of fax and mail. As mentioned, I would avoid mail right now. To make a claim, seniors can submit copies or scans of their required documentation, ensure their name, personal health number, address, and phone number is clearly identified on the documents. If you're not clear on what you should submit for a specific claim at any time, I do encourage you to contact Alberta Supports. They can give you a hand with making sure you're submitting the correct documentation. And then lastly, if a senior's claim is urgent, I also encourage you to contact Alberta Supports and request that the special needs assistants review the information urgently and always provide an explanation as to why. Okay, let me see if I can get this video played. This is a quick 2-minute demonstration of how to submit an SNA claim using a My Alberta Seniors account. I apologize if I'm looking off the screen for this one. It plays on my other monitor. So in this example, we have an individual with an alberta.ca verified account, and they're going to log in with their username and password. Now they're going to navigate to the Special Needs Assistance Plan and click Special Needs Assistance tab and click Start a New Claim. In this case, they're submitting for a bed in this first example. As she scrolls, you can see all the items in the dropdown that can be submitted through the online account. For this example, the maximum is $566 for a bed, but in this one, they're saying the bed costs them $500. Then they're entering the date of service. And in this example, it's not asking for any documentation. So since no document is required, the senior just needs to retain their receipt from the purchase of the bed for 1 year, as they could be audited. And then in the next example here, we're going to show an example where they are going to be requested to submit a document. This one, they're submitting for the repair of a washing machine. So now here it's guiding them to attach a document. In this case, they're going to drag and drop it in, but you can also open the file. And then that could be submitted. And then here you can see there are claims that have been submitted as well as previous claims that are in progress. And that's all always there on the alberta.ca verified My Alberta Seniors account. So just a quick demo to kind of show you what the website looks like. It's really easy to use, and it can help you get claims processed quite quickly. Okay. So first, let's go through the primary funded items that are available. Again, to qualify for the primary items, you can see the income amounts here on the screen. Let's talk about appliances and furniture first. Just in general, there are some guidelines for applying for appliances and furniture. Applying for funding is done by submitting a receipt for an item purchased when eligible within the last 12 months, or submitting an estimate for the item the senior intends to purchase. Only one of each funded appliance or furniture type is considered for either a single senior or a senior couple in a lifetime. So for example, you can only receive funding for a refrigerator one time from this program. Only one appliance or furniture item is considered for a single senior or a single couple per benefit year. For example, a senior cannot claim a bed and a television in the same year. There are a couple exceptions to this though, so we'll get to that in a second. Repairs to funded appliances may also be considered. Accommodation type also matters when submitting for furniture items. So where a senior lives can determine which appliances and furniture items they can claim. Homeowners and mobile homeowners can claim all appliances and furniture listed as long as they're eligible. Renters can claim bed, microwave, television, and vacuum. Applicants living with or renting from family or friends can claim a bed. Residents of a continuing care home type A, so that's formerly known as long-term care, can claim for a television. Lodge and continuing care home type B residents can claim for a bed and a television. This slide lists the eligible appliances and furniture items available to seniors at the primary level and the maximum amount of funding available. We'll talk about the secondary appliances, so that's the television, microwave, and vacuum a little bit later on. If an item purchased is more than the maximum amount, the senior must pay the difference. Estimates or receipts are required when applying for assistance. As you saw, when they applied through the My Alberta Seniors, it didn't require them to upload their receipt for the bed. So in that case, the senior would just hold on to it in case they were audited. So here you can see the maximum amounts for each item. A bed, we're looking at $566. A dryer, $453. A washer, $566. Refrigerator, $791. And a stove, $791. You'll also note there's a couple exceptions here. For the bed, this can include the mattress and the frame. And then in the previous slide, I said you can only claim one appliance per benefit year. However, you may request a washer and a dryer together in the same benefit year, or you may request a fridge and a stove together in the same benefit year. All maximum amounts include GST, delivery, removal of old appliances, installation and hookup, and any environmental fees. Let's get into health supports next. Before we get into the items, you'll notice that a lot of the items listed will mention a medical note is required. Some funded items do require a medical note the first time or on an annual basis. Unless otherwise specified, a health professional includes a physician, nurse practitioner, registered social worker, physical therapist, or occupational therapist working in the field of healthcare. Note that some items will list a specific health professional. So for example, they'll say it must be by a physician or a nurse practitioner, but other ones just say health professional. So under health supports, there's a number of items. The first is CPAP, funding for a CPAP machine. You can see in the huge table here that the list of supporting documentation is a lot for the CPAP machine. Most accredited Canadian sleep facilities and CPAP providers will be able to help with the submission of this information. You can review the exact list of documents that needs to be included in the SNA information booklet or on the website. It's also up here on the screen. But as I said, most sleep facilities will assist with this because otherwise I don't even know what some of these things are personally. Each request for the SNA program for a CPAP is reviewed by Alberta Health Services respiratory specialist before the benefit is approved. Insufficient or missing documentation may result in a delay. The year after a CPAP is approved, seniors can apply with receipts or estimates annually for CPAP supplies such as hoses and masks. There's also funding for diabetic supplies, including items not funded by Coverage for Seniors programs, such as test strips, lancets, needles, antiseptic swabs, and sharps containers. The prescribed medications are not included under this item. Supplies not on the Alberta drug benefit list are also not considered. The first time a senior submits information they must provide information regarding the diabetes management method. So whether it's oral medications, insulin, or diet and exercise managed, you'll see here that the maximums are slightly different depending on what type of diabetes management is used. Receipts or a 12-month prescription printout are required to get funding for this. And where possible, a 12-month printout showing diabetic supplies purchased over the last year is preferred, just to make sure no receipts are missed. In this case, they would submit a new printout every 12 months. Otherwise, the senior just needs to keep all their receipts of supplies purchased and submit those regularly. There's also funding for nutritional beverages. This includes things like Ensure, Boost, Glucerna, Resource, or other brands that are nutritionally equivalent. Thickeners such as a Resource Thicken Up or similar products and Nepro are also considered. A medical note signed by a physician, nurse practitioner, or registered dietitian is required once a year, prescribing the number of bottles of nutritional beverages per day, the duration of the requirement, and confirmation of a medical condition requiring their use. First-time applicants can receive benefits for up to 3 months based on the note, and then after the initial 3 months, funding is determined using receipts. Funding is provided for a maximum of 4 bottles per day at $2.25 per bottle. There's also funding for podiatry, providing a maximum of $30 per month for regular maintenance, which is nail trimming and callus removal. The receipts provided must include the senior's name, date of service, and the type of service provided, as well as the service provider's name, phone number, and signature. So we see this a lot from care facilities that have a foot care nurse come in like once a month or something. They'll provide a little receipt, and then sometimes people submit those every month. Sometimes people save them up for a few months and then submit like 3 or 4 months at once. Prescription costs. So there's funding to help assist with the co-payment amounts that are above $45 per month for a single senior or $90 per month for a senior couple. These are considered by the date of the request is submitted, and the benefits are provided for the current benefit year only. Over-the-counter medications and medications not listed on the Alberta Drug Benefit List are not considered. We'll put a link to the Alberta Drug Benefit List in the chat. A 12-month prescription printout, also known as a patient medical expense report, is needed to determine the monthly average copayment and the anticipated prescription costs during this benefit year. New seniors who are just turning 65 can provide documents from their pharmacy confirming their anticipated prescription costs over a 3-month period, or a prescription printout from the time they turn 65 to the current date. But after the first year, a 12-month printout will be required. So for example, if a single senior had an average copay amount of $100 a month on their prescription medications, they could be eligible to receive $55 per month in assistance through the prescription costs of SNA. Here's an example. This is just a mock-up of what a patient medical expense report may look like. I need to zoom in so I can read it. You don't need to read this. I just kind of wanted to show what it would look like, and this is something the pharmacy can supply. It's an easy way to show all the purchases in the last year for prescriptions, and then this one actually does include some diabetic supplies as well. So they can submit this for the diabetic claim as well. A pharmacy, it needs to list the copay amount and then the amount the plan pays, and then the drug name. And then at the bottom, it lists the total that the patient is paying. So this is a bit different than the one that's sometimes submitted for tax purposes that typically just has the drug information number and not the drug name. So this is the one we're looking for special needs assistance. These expense reports should be submitted once per year at the same time. So for example, if a senior submits a report this month, then next year at the same time, they should put a note in their calendar to submit another one. Okay, let's get into personal supports under primary. Under personal supports, there's assistance for bed bug treatment. This is a maximum of $1,327 to assist with the cost to prepare and fumigate a residence due to a bed bug infestation. A letter confirming the infestation is required by either the landlord or property manager of the apartment or from the exterminating company if the home is a private residence. Also required is an estimate or a receipt for the treatment service. For seniors who require special groceries because they have celiac disease, this program can provide an assistance of up to $59 per month to assist with purchasing groceries. A medical note from a physician or nurse practitioner is required the first time a senior applies for assistance to confirm the senior has celiac disease. Funding is determined based on the date the senior's request is received. This program also helps with clothing for seniors who have lost or gained a substantial amount of weight due to a medical condition. Specifically, if they have to have lost or gained 25% or more of their initial total body weight. The maximum considered for new clothing is $678 per year. The senior needs to submit a medical note from a health professional confirming that new clothing is required due to weight loss or weight gain due to a medical condition. Funding for new clothes is again based on the date the senior's request is received. The next item under personal supports is home cleanup. This is a one-time expense that seniors can apply for assistance of up to $1,590 to assist with the initial cleanup of a home when a hoarding problem has been identified by a social worker or a community-based worker, or identified by an agency specializing in home cleanup or hoarding. A benefit is not paid if the home cleanup is part of a move-out clean. There's also funding for personal response systems such as Lifeline or Telecare. This is for an in-home system that connects to a third-party responder responsible to dispatch emergency services or a caregiver. That's what's considered. Sorry, my notes are strange here. Assistance is not provided for installation of personal GPS tracking systems, security or alarm services, or internal facility response services. And with this one, the benefits are provided for the current benefit year only. So the senior will need to submit an estimate or receipt for the monthly monitoring fee. And there are some providers who will submit this annually for the senior. So check with your provider. Relocation of a washer and dryer. This is for if a senior has a medical condition necessitating the relocation of their washer and dryer. So perhaps they can't go downstairs anymore and they need those to be moved to the main floor. It includes any costs associated with this, including moving the units and any retrofitting that must take place, for example, moving a water line or anything like that. For this one, they need to provide an estimate or a receipt along with a medical note specifying the medical condition necessitating the move. So under primary items, personal supports, the next item is medical trips. This assistance is provided for medical trips where a senior is traveling a distance greater than 80 kilometers round trip, so 40 kilometers one way, to see a medical specialist, or the senior is traveling for medical testing or treatment. The program confirms that the service provider is a specialist by checking the Alberta College of Physicians and Surgeons website. This assistance is not for a senior traveling to see their doctor who is a general practitioner. It's only for a specialist testing or treatment. The documentation required is a report from the medical specialist or the medical facility specifying the dates of the appointment, confirming the seniors attended their appointment, and if they stayed overnight, we also need a copy of the receipt for their accommodations. Funding for medical trips is based on a per diem calculation that takes into consideration distance traveled, meals, and parking. Meal costs are considered on travel days only, and seniors don't need to submit receipts for those expenses. Note, if a senior stayed in a private residence, this expense would not be considered for accommodation. They can still submit for the mileage though. There's also assistance for medically supervised transportation. So this is for a senior who requires special transportation to move between continuing care type A homes or long-term care. In this case, funding is up to $97 once in a lifetime, and they require documentation from the facility indicating that the senior required a medically supervised transfer, and that can be provided using Alberta Paramedical Services or Emergency Medical Services. Medication administration fees. This provides up to $70 per month to eligible seniors living in lodges and continuing care homes. The program requires documentation from the facility that states the amount of the monthly fees and the effective date. Benefits are provided for the current benefit year only. And sometimes where appropriate, seniors might be referred to the Alberta Health Services Medication Assistance Program or home care. Wigs are funded up to 2 per year to a maximum of $284 each. A medical note from a physician or nurse practitioner confirming a medical condition is required the first time a senior submits, along with estimates or receipts for the cost of the wig. Under the SNA program, assistance is also provided for seniors who are facing disconnection of their utilities. Assistance may be considered for each utility, power, gas, and water, once every 3 years. Financial assistance for utility arrears is only considered when the utilities are already disconnected or they will be disconnected within 48 hours. Funding is based on the actual cost of the disconnection up to a combined maximum of $5,643 per benefit year, which is the SNA funding maximum that we talked about at the very beginning. Only charges over the last 12 months can be considered, and a disconnection notice or recent bill from the utility company is required, and it must be in the senior's name. Something to note is that the Electric Utilities Act states electric services cannot be fully disconnected from October 15th to April 15th, and natural gas distributors cannot disconnect services from November 1st to April 14th, nor can they disconnect at any time where the temperature is going to be below zero in the 24-hour period after the disconnection. What happens with this one is once that information is submitted, SNA pays to the utility company. So the seniors don't receive the money, it's paid to the company. If you want more information on utility connection, you can see the Utilities Consumer Advocate webpage. We have included a link in the chat for those. So that was all the primary items in a very quick nutshell. I'm just checking we're okay for time. So now we're going to go into the secondary items that are available through SNA. And again, these are available to those lower income seniors. You can see the qualifying amounts here up on the screen. If you're following along in the information booklet, we're on page 8 of the information booklet. This slide lists the eligible appliances and furniture items that are available to seniors at the secondary level. So we have a microwave up to a maximum of $115, television up to $340, or a vacuum up to $171. As with the primary funded appliances and furniture items, when applying, a senior needs to submit an estimate or a receipt if they've already purchased the item. Also, the SNA program may fund allowable appliance repairs for these items. Under secondary items, personal support is funding for housekeeping and yard maintenance, specifically grass cutting and snow removal. A maximum of $1,356 combined for housekeeping and yard maintenance is available each benefit year to assist a senior with light housekeeping, grass cutting, and snow removal only. The first time a senior and their spouse applies, a medical note from a health professional stating the senior's mobility, health condition that does not allow them to complete the work is required. This is only required if the senior and their spouses are under the age of 80 years and older. As long as the senior and their spouse are both 80 and older, a medical note is not required. Applicants living with or renting from family members are not eligible for this assistance. Applicants paying family members to provide housekeeping or yard maintenance are not eligible for this assistance. It must be provided by a business. Seniors residing in a lodge, supported living facility, or continuing care are also not eligible for assistance. So there is a receipt that must be included, and then you can see here a list of what needs to be on the receipt. If you look at the special needs assistance information booklet on page 8, you'll see an example of an acceptable housekeeping and yard maintenance receipt. Under secondary items, personal supports is also assistance for respite care expenses. This is for seniors who live with a caregiver, spouse, or family member who provides daily care. The assistance for respite care may be available for up to 4 weeks per benefit year in a care center, and the assistance is based on the current private room rate for rate charges as set by Continuing Care Alberta Health. So right now it's $79.80 per day as of November 2024. The documentation required here is a medical note from a health professional stating that the senior's medical care requires a full-time caregiver, plus an estimate or receipt from the care center. So that, in a nutshell, covers the items of special needs assistance that the program will consider funding. There are several commonly requested items that the program does not fund, so let's go through those just quickly here. SNA does not provide any emergency assistance or assistance with debt or arrears, including eviction payments or unpaid pharmacy bills. SNA does not provide assistance with funeral costs, lift chairs orthotics, laundry costs, or installation of a personal response service. However, we still assist with the monthly monitoring fee for response services. These were items that were previously considered under SNA, but due to changes in the program, they're no longer covered. Home repairs are not considered under this program as they're available through the Seniors Home Adaptation and Repair Program. We'll put a link to SHARP in the chat, I think. If not, you can go watch our October 30th session. We talk in depth about SHARP there as well. And then lastly, hearing aids are covered through Alberta Aids to Daily Living program. So hearing aid vendors can determine eligibility and submit forms directly to Alberta Aids to Daily Living. For more information on that, seniors should contact Alberta Aids to Daily Living, and we'll put a link in the chat for them as well. We do not consider receipts or any costs incurred before the day an applicant turns 65. As well, any receipts or purchases that are older than 12 months are not considered. Assistance is also not provided for spouses that are under 65, any dependent children or grandchildren. As we showed earlier, the MyAlberta Seniors account allows you to see the status of your claim and review claim history and payment history online. Soon, individuals will also receive online notifications about changes to their claims. Otherwise, seniors are notified by mail as to whether a claim is approved or denied. Once the special needs assistance program receives a claim, it can take 4 to 6 weeks to review, but may take longer during peak periods. Some simple claims can be processed quickly if submitted online. Occasionally, the senior may be contacted for additional information. Some simple claims, such as bed submission, for the one we just saw in that video, can be processed quite quickly. Once the decision is made, the senior will be notified by mail. On the back of the letter the senior receives, there's an explanation as to what was approved or not approved. I always encourage people to review that explanation closely if they get a rejection, because sometimes it's simply just not the right documentation was submitted, or there's just a little bit of information missing. And if the senior submits again with that requested information, they'll be able to get funding. Special needs assistance payments are made directly to the senior's bank account, normally the same one where their Alberta Senior Benefit monthly payment is going. Um, Everyone should keep their receipts, and they can be mailed to the program within 3 months of receiving a payment, or just hold on to them for up to 2 years in case they are requested at a later date. There are special circumstances that we sometimes get questions about with the special needs assistance programs. Service providers may sometimes encounter an SNA claim where it's very urgent and they need to be processed as soon as possible. For example, assisting with a bed bug situation, eviction due to hoarding, utility disconnection. Those are all ones that will be urgent. Maybe a senior's fridge died and they have no way to keep their medications cold. There's lots of examples. In urgent cases, help the senior submit the required documents using the online upload tool or fax those in. Make sure like urgent is written somewhere on the documents. And then you can also include a short cover sheet that can explain the situation if you need to. Once the documents are submitted for an urgent request, call Alberta Supports, provide the senior's personal health number, and explain the situation again, asking that the documents be marked urgent. This will move the SNA request to a priority queue for the program delivery staff to review. Other special circumstances may affect the assessment of special needs assistance. You can see those on page 9 of the SNA booklet. This includes questions about estates. So estates of a deceased senior may be eligible to receive reimbursement for expenses prior to death if the request is received within 3 months of the date of them passing away. Seniors in a continuing care home, if it's a senior couple and they've been involuntarily separated for health reasons, I'm running out of ability to talk. We're almost done. If we have a senior couple and they've been involuntarily separated for health reasons, and one or both of them are in a continuing care home, the special needs assistance can take into consideration the fact that they're in two separate residences. So, for example, even though we say one bed in a lifetime for the furniture, an additional bed might be considered. So, anytime there's a special circumstance like that, just make sure the program knows about it and Alberta Supports knows if you're submitting a claim. If a senior is living in a continuing care home, special needs assistance does deduct any supplementary accommodation benefit they receive on their income tax before they calculate eligibility for assistance. So that's taken off when we look at the maximum amounts. Sorry, not the maximum amounts, the thresholds for eligibility. Finally, there is an appeal process with all seniors financial assistance programs. You can learn more about it on page 10 of the SNA booklet on the SNA website, and we also have a process map in our senior service provider resource guide that you can refer to. Before we move into the Q&A, I just want to touch on a couple of resources. Alberta Supports was mentioned several times here. It's the main point of contact for assistance regarding seniors financial assistance programs. They recently updated their menu options, so once you call them, press 6 to be placed in the service provider queue. They're open between 7:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday. If a senior is not able to be present during the call, to provide verbal consent that the Alberta Supports can speak to you, we do recommend completing a consent to release information form and submitting that online before calling. This form is available in section 1.6 of our resource guide, and I'll talk to you about the resource guide in a second too. The Seniors Community and Social Services website, we've mentioned several times, that's the best way to get up-to-date information on our programs. You can also refer to our resource guide, and you can download that through Core Alberta. As um, sorry. Many of you are likely joining us today because you saw this session advertised on CORE, so thank you for being here. For those who are not familiar with CORE, it's an online knowledge hub for anyone working with seniors in the community-based sector, and you can join and share information, collaborate, get updates on upcoming events and training opportunities. If you're not already a member, you can visit corealberta.ca. There's no cost to join, and there's lots of great benefits. Our group is the Government of Alberta Seniors, what's it called? Government of Alberta Senior Service Provider Group. And in it, we have the resource guide. So once you've signed up for CORE, oh, I have it right here in my notes. Seniors Programs Resource Guide Group. Once you've signed up for CORE, you can join the group. It's free and open to join. And then you can navigate to the resources tab and download the Senior Service Provider Resource Guide. If you're already using the guide, I encourage you to check and make sure you're using the latest September 2024 version, as there were significant changes from the previous version. This guide is intended to assist service providers who support seniors to access programs, services, and resources. And you can find lots of the information we talked about today, as well as information on federal programs. And there's super handy things like process maps, tons of links, embedded forms that you might find useful in your work. Again, we encourage you to sign up for CORE and join our group to get updates on the resource guide, seniors programs, and updates on upcoming presentations. That concludes our session. So thank you so much for coming today. We hope this information was helpful for your work. If you want to provide us any feedback or have any questions that we don't get to today, you can email us at the email address at the bottom of the screen. I also see we have a question about how or where to request print materials such as SNA booklets. You can do that by emailing us at that email address as well. I think there's probably some delays because of the Canada Post strike, so we'll get those out to you as soon as we can. And then we're going to jump into the Q&A. We've got about 8 minutes here for that. I see some questions. I see Laura Paradowski is online. Laura, thank you for joining us.